Hi everyone, it's Liv. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about books and, well, just books, because that's all I ever do is read. So this video is going to be my October wrap-up and a combination with my November TBR as well. So let's get started. So I read a total of 8 books in October. I'm really happy with that. First one I finished was LDK Volume 1, which is a manga following 2 high school students that don't really get along, and because of an accident in one of their homes, they have to live together, and it's kind of like a hate to love. So I finished the first volume of that, and then later on in the month I finished the second volume. I gave both of them 3 stars. I thought they were pretty good. They were fun. So I'm definitely going to continue that because it's just a quick, fun read to enjoy. The second book that I read was Kakegurui Volume 1, which is another type of manga which follows a school, and the curriculum of this school is all based on gambling and different games where they're gambling money, and depending on how much money they owe and how much debts they have kind of goes along with the kind of cast that they fall in that school. The first one was really cool. I was gonna read the second one, but then just never got around to it. I think I'll continue it though, so at some point, maybe in November or December, I'll read the second one. But I did enjoy it. I gave that one 4 stars. The third book that I read was Over the Top by Jonathan Van Ness, which is his memoir about his life and growing up and different drug issues and addictions and struggles that he went with to become the person that he is today. I loved this book. I read it in 2 days, and this was my favorite book of the month. I gave it 5 stars. I highly recommend this, especially to anyone who is a fan of Queer Eye or Jonathan's stand-up or podcast. Even if you're not a big fan of it, I still think it's a great read following a person who went through a lot of tough times and struggles in their life and is now become the best version of themselves. So I really, really loved this one. The next book that I read, I actually listened to on audio, and it was The Hidden Power of Fucking Up by the Try Guys. I mentioned in my TBR video that I'm a huge fan of the Try Guys. I think that they're hilarious. They do a bunch of really cool videos, and especially ones that have really good messages to them. So this book followed them trying things completely out of their comfort zones, some of those being fashion risks, becoming a vegan and doing CrossFit and exercising, connecting better with their families, and also how to be a better boyfriend and partner. So I loved this book. I gave this one 4 stars. I listened to it on audio, and I think that's definitely the way to go because the Try Guys themselves are actually narrating it and they have some kind of side conversations in the narration of the book. I will say that there are photos and other types of things in the physical book that I obviously could not see on the audio. So if you have the physical copy, that's great and you can read it. I also like to listen to the audio and read the physical book at the same time. So I think this book would be really, really great for that, so that you can hear in their own voices and then see the photos of the fashion outfits that they're trying, or weight loss and stuff like that. But I loved this book. Anyone who's a fan of the Try Guys should definitely check this one out. The next book that I read was part of my spookathon. I had a vlog of that up earlier, and editing it got really, really weird, so I had to put it in 3 parts, but hopefully in the future I won't have to do that with vlogs. But so I read City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab, and I thought it was really cute. I liked it. I read it in a couple days. Gave that 3 stars. I liked it, but I'm just not into middle grade. I've talked about that a bunch before. But I thought it was cute, and I liked her style of writing, so this was my first Victoria Schwab, and I have been wanting to read some of her other books, so I think this was a good kind of starting point with her, and then at some point in the future I'll definitely get to her more YA and adult books. The next book that I read was my other book for Spookathon, which was The French Girl, which is a thriller by Lexi Elliott. I thought it was pretty good. Not my favorite thriller that I've ever read. I gave this one 3 stars. I thought it was alright. I mean, I like thrillers. This wasn't one of my favorites, but I still enjoyed it. And the fun thing about this one, as I talked about in my vlog, was this was the 75th book of the year that I read, which was my Goodreads goal. So I was really, really happy that I had completed it. Last book that I read in the month of October was Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery, which was part of the book club that I have with my sister and my cousin. And my sister picked this one because of a quote that specifically talks about October, so she wanted to do it in October. I thought this one was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I think I enjoyed it a lot because I used to watch the animated series growing up, so I think at the age I am now, if I hadn't watched that series, I wouldn't enjoy it as much, but since I did, I really liked it. I read this as a combination of both physical and audio. I would recommend the audiobook personally because if anyone is familiar with the series, the main character Anne talks a lot, and so the dialogue in the physical book just kind of goes on for like a full page and doesn't really stop, which is fine but can kind of get a lot and overwhelming. So I really liked the audiobook for it. Once I finished this one, I added the second one on my Scribd account. So I'm definitely going to continue the series because I think it's fun. It's an easy read to just kind of listen to while you're driving or if you're on a run or something like that. So I enjoyed it. So now I'm going to get into my November TBR, and the reason I'm combining these two together are because one, honestly, it's kind of late in the month. I've had a really busy and eventful and stressful month of November already, and we're only 10 days into it. So that's one of the reasons I'm combining them. And the other one is I really only have 3 or 4 books on my actual TBR because I am going to be taking part in 2 readathons this month. So my main TBR is just going to be short because I have the 2 readathons that I'm going to be taking part in. So my main TBR is number 1, starting with Lilac Girls, which is my cousin's choice for our book club. I started that the other day, and it's pretty good. I like it. It takes place during World War II. It's a historical fiction following 3 girls of different ages and nationalities. So I think it'll be a good pick. My sister and cousin are already way into it, like halfway and further than halfway, and they are loving it. So I'm excited to read that one. The other book that I wanted to get to, if I get to, was The Other Berlin Girl. This was part of my October TBR. I got like 15 pages into it the first couple weeks of October, and then like other priorities happened, so I wasn't able to continue. This is also pretty dense and it's just kind of like it takes a little bit to get through. I think it's going to. So this isn't a priority, but if I get to it and get a bigger chunk into this, that'll be great. If not, we'll read it at some other point in time. The next is the second book of the Anne of Green Gables series called Anne of Avonlea by L.M. Montgomery. As I said, I already put that on my Scribd account for the audiobook. I haven't started it yet, but if I have time, I would love to because it was an easy audiobook and I really liked it. And the next book that I want to read is the 3rd volume of LDK. I really enjoyed it. I'd like to continue to read at least 1 or 2 of these a month because they're just really quick, and they have, if not the whole series, almost the entire series at my local library down the street from me. And I'm moving in April, so I won't have access to that amazing library anymore. So I want to try to finish all of these and honestly read as much manga as I can because I don't know where I'm going to be, and I don't really know if they'll have as great a selection of manga books at the library. So that is my main TBR, and then the 2 readathons that I'm going to take part in are the Triwizard Tournament and the Buzzwordathon held by Books and Lala. The Triwizard Tournament is a Harry Potter themed readathon. I did my owls just to see how it would go in September, so I really liked that. I'm a big Harry Potter fan, so I like the Harry Potter themed readathons. So this one is divided into the 3 tasks like the Triwizard Tournament, and those tasks take place at different points in the month. Currently it is November 10th, so it is the 2nd day of the Triwizard Tournament. The first task revolves around the dragons in Goblet of Fire. So the first part of that is a dragon is assigned to your house. I am a Durmstrang, and so the dragon that I'm having to fight is the Swedish Short Snout. And the prompt for that dragon is to reread a favorite that makes you feel protected. So I have decided to reread The Doll People by Anne M. Martin and Laura Godwin. I read this when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade. It is a loved favorite among my 2 sisters, and I haven't reread it since then. And my mom last Christmas got us each a brand new copy of The Doll People with this beautiful cover. So I'm excited to reread. This is definitely a favorite that makes me feel protected and nostalgic. And then the second part of the first task is to choose your method of defeating the dragon. I've chosen the conjunctivist curse, if that's how you pronounce it, and you are temporarily blinding your dragon so you can get the egg. And the prompt for that is to read a book with eyes on the cover. So I've chosen Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Yang. I think that's how you pronounce it. If it's not, I apologize. But so I am a few chapters into that so far, and I'm really liking it. Though I'm listening to it on audio, but I also have the physical book. The audio, the description is just beautiful of the castles and all that atmosphere. So I'm excited to continue to read that, and I believe the sequel recently came out, so if I like that, I'll definitely continue on and read the next one. So this first task starts began yesterday, November 9th, and goes until November 15th, and then the second task starts November 25th and goes on to December 1st, and then the third task will be in December. I don't know my prompts or anything for the second task yet, but I will keep you guys posted in another video. The next readathon that I'm going to take part in is the Buzzwordathon, as I said, by Books and Lala. This is my first time that I'm going to take part in this readathon of hers. I believe this is her third or fourth time hosting it. If you have watched her announcement video, the buzzword this time is actually a number, so you can read books with a number in the title. So I have a large array of things that I could read. It's only a week long, so I will definitely not get to all of them, but if I can get to one or two, that'd be great. So this readathon takes place from November 18th to the 24th. And the books that I have on my TBR for that are The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. That book is like 500 pages. So that was honestly, I just threw that on there as a possibility. I will not be reading that one, I don't think. I don't have it with me right now, so I don't think I'm going to read that one, but it's on there just in case. The next one that I got is The Ninth Judgment by James Patterson and Maxine Pietro. This is the 9th book of the Women's Murder Club series by James Patterson. I've talked about these before. They're really, really quick to get to, and they are really exciting, and I like these. My goal is to read all of them. I think he's still coming out with them, and if so, I want to get caught up and then continue the series as he writes new ones, because he's always writing books. So this is definitely one that I have that I am fully 100% planning on reading for the Buzzwordathon. The next one that I got was The Number One Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith. I don't know anything about this book. I think it's kind of thrillery mystery. I'm assuming from the title, detective. But I like to read these kind of thrillers for readathons, especially if they're a week long, because they're quick to get through because you always want to know what happens next. So I'm planning on reading this one. It is about 220 pages, so I should hopefully be able to get through this one quickly. But yeah, so I'm excited to check this out. I know nothing about it. The next one that I thought about doing was One Piece by Ichiro Oda. It is a manga series. They did not have the first volume at my library, so maybe I'll be able to go back before the readathon starts and grab that. If not, it's alright. As I said, I have plenty of other books to choose from, but if I am able to do that, that'd be great too. And the last book that I could potentially be reading for the Buzzwordathon is Fame, Fate, and the First Kiss by Casey West. I have not read any Casey West books, and I think Books and Lala is a big fan of hers. I don't think she loved this particular one, but she doesn't like books where someone is famous, and I don't think I've ever really read a book where someone is famous, so I don't know how I feel about that yet. So I want to check out some of her books because a lot of YouTubers are a big fan of her. Yeah, we'll see if I get to this one. This one is a little bit longer. This one is almost 400 pages, but the words are kind of like, the pages are kind of spread out, they're not super long. So maybe I'll get through this one quickly. It looks cute, so we'll see. That is a combination of my October wrap-up, my November TBR, and the TBR for the 2 readathons that I am going to be taking part in. I plan on vlogging all of the readathons and maybe some other ones as well. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye!